Hello. This Saturday we launched the General Election Campaign 2010 for Mid-Norfolk. I was so pleased that so many people came out. We had over 75 people at Dereham Football Ground. We're going to be fighting a campaign about getting involved, about making a difference. It's a campaign about rebuilding politics from the grassroots up. We had over 75 people came to start at Dereham Football Club, and I know we'll have many more by the end. The theme of the campaign is It Starts Here. It's a simple message about making a difference, starting in politics at the grassroots and putting Mid-Norfolk on the map. I'm trying to combine a message about opportunity and prosperity and heritage in Norfolk with a better politics. That's the campaign logo, and if you'd like to get involved, please contact me, email me, call me, or get in touch with the office. There's a role in this campaign for everyone. Here's some footage of what we did on Saturday morning. I just wanted to say, for those of you who don't know me so well, that this for me is a culmination of a huge political journey. I started 10 years ago setting up a movement called Mind the Gap, because I'd become disillusioned with politics, and I sensed that there were a lot of other people who were. And we started this thing called Mind the Gap, and we raised some money, and we wrote a book, and we had a website, and before we knew it, we had members, people ringing up saying, I want to join. And one evening we were sitting in the pub, and somebody said, we should run a candidate, a Mind the Gap candidate. And I went to buy a drink, and when I got back, they said, yeah, we're going to, it's going to be you. And I suddenly realised, actually, if you care about Parliament, if you care about political parties, and you care about putting some integrity back at the heart of our system of government, it's not the fringe that's weak. There's plenty of fringe parties. It's easy in this country to be clever on the fringe. It's at the core that the problem is. And I decided that I'm a Conservative through my core. I believe in the idea of responsibility, and it's the Conservative Party only that can come to the rescue of this country. So that's why I've tried in the 3 years that you've given me as a candidate to work hard and to do what some people call a deep dive, to get below the national radar and talk about and try and explore the things that are really special and difficult about this place. And my campaign, The Norfolk Way, is really at bottom about this. It's about saying Norfolk is special. We have great history and heritage and dialect and villages and market towns, all the things we all love about Norfolk. But Mid-Norfolk particularly, and Norfolk generally, is marginal. It's poor. We're neglected. We don't get the investment. It's difficult to get to. If we're not careful, it'll become a poor rural backwater, and the young and people who want to build things will leave, and we'll be left behind. The Norfolk Way insists that we can have heritage and opportunity, with a revolution in the way we plan and design. Lots of small businesses, better communication, broadband, rail and the A11. Let's have companies in Norfolk trading, built off the back of Cambridge and Norwich and our local economy. And villages that are mixed again, where you have people working and living, old and young, people working together, going to the pub and the post offices, not massive John Prescott housing estates and everybody sitting commuting to public sector jobs while the villages die. And I think it's a deep message, actually, and it goes to the heart of local government, about power back to Norfolk, about responsibility, and about a whole lot of very conservative themes. And I think it's beginning to resonate. So, there's two key messages at the heart of this campaign. The first is that politics has lost its way. It's important people hear me acknowledge that. And that rebuilding trust is hard work, and there are no shortcuts. It starts with the grassroots. And secondly, this is all about putting Mid-Norfolk on the map, building those grassroots as a new constituency, new MP, new Parliament, new government. This is the most amazing opportunity for a fresh start. And about putting a government in that believes in Norfolk solutions for Norfolk problems. It's restoring the triangle from being that shape, where it's tough at the bottom and easy at the top, to being that shape. It's a politics about building to a sharp top of leadership from a broad grassroots at the bottom. How do you capture those two messages? Mark and I spent a lot of time on this, and this is how we propose to do it. That is the campaign message. It's going on all the literature and all the leaflets, and you've all got on your pack the first bit of merchandise, which is a beer mat with It Starts Here on it. What starts here? It starts here. The new constituency starts here. A new politics starts here. A new approach to politics starts here. A new MP starts here. A new association starts here. But what else starts here is a new approach to local politics, and to putting the local at the heart of national politics. A new approach to development, a new approach to the Norfolk Way. It is many of the things that I've just talked about in that campaign. It's also, I want this to be a broad campaign, so we've got posters to go in shop windows. The best sausages come from here. The best beer comes from here. The best racehorses come from here. This is a celebration of Mid-Norfolk and everything that we love about it. So it's an attempt to try and get people who, frankly, don't care about party politics to say, well, if you're celebrating this area, celebrating our businesses, our shops, our community, I'm with you. I think it's worth just asking ourselves what this is really about and why we're doing it. I wanted just to share with you what, for me, it's really about. Firstly, it's about our country. The thing that's wonderful about politics, I think, is that it's a chance to serve your country. David Cameron gets to serve at number 10 Downing Street. We all get to serve our country. Political parties are triangles, grassroots triangles, that take power. They go to London and they take control of that incredible legacy of 1,000 years of democratic history. It's an amazing thing to be part of. For people around the world, many people don't have that opportunity. And it's a bit of history and a bit of chance to be part of something special. I think our politics is deeply broken, and this is a chance, a sincere chance, to begin to rebuild something we can be proud of. More locally, I think it's totally possible that with a Conservative government we could get back to running Norfolk the way we want to run it. I won't rest until Norfolk has put together a plan for Norfolk, the county council, the district councils, the parish councils, that Norfolk people want and are proud of. And we go to London and we give it to the Department of Environment, or whatever it's called, and say, that is the plan for Norfolk, that is what we want, that is what we want you to let us do. Now get off our backs and let us do it. And it's perfectly possible with a Conservative government. All the policies are there. We've said we're going to scrap the regional assemblies and their targets. We're going to control immigration. We're going to have a sensible housing policy. We're going to reward villages that build houses locally where they want them. We're going to do it. It's all in the manifesto. It's boring to read. It's vital and important stuff. So if you care about this area, that's another reason for getting involved. But for me, the real inspiration is my 2 children. And as I left this morning, I was thinking, you know, every time I leave, they look at me and they say, where are you going? And I just think, you know, just think to yourself, 5 more years at Gordon Brown. Imagine how you're going to feel the morning after this election if Gordon Brown walks into Downing Street with Peter Mandelson smoking. I'm going to feel horrible. And you're going to feel horrible. My children aren't going to feel horrible, but their prospects are going to be horrible. I don't want them to go to school in a world run by pit bulls. I don't want them to go to schools that are politically correct, where they're not taught British history, where they're taught a bunch of politically correct nonsense. I don't want them to then go to universities that are churning out noddy degrees for which they have to pay £25,000 in debt. I don't want them to go into a workforce that's so regulated that no one has any morale and everybody's playing the game. I don't want them to then be a slave paying the taxes to a huge, big government system. I don't want them to grow old in a country paying the bills because no one had the guts to deal with our care and a pensions regime that's been annihilated. I just, sincerely as a parent, I feel I'm letting them down if that's the world I give to them. And at the heart of conservatism, I think there's a really big idea, which is you put in more than you take out. The left believe that you take out more than you put in. They're founded in the idea that you have an entitlement and a right to something, whatever you put in. Ultimately, that idea leads you bankrupt. And that's why today the British government is bankrupt, because they've done it again. They've taken and taken and taken and given to their friends. Even the act of giving is bad. There's a New Level philosopher called Anthony Giddens. I don't encourage you to read his book, but if you read it, you'll find he says the defining philosophy of the left, of the modern left, is this. To be a citizen of a state, you must be dependent on it. I could not disagree more. To be a citizen of the state, you need to be a free citizen of something, engaging voluntarily in building a fabric of interactions between people, your neighbours, your family, your businesses, the people you trade with. It's a really big idea, and it's a poisonous idea. And if you want to imagine what Britain would be like, in which everybody is dependent on the state, just allow this lot to win again. That's really what motivates me. I hope I've managed to remind you why this matters. The last thing I want to say, just imagine how you're going to feel on election night, to have been part of something truly inspiring. To cheer here, and then to cheer as a Conservative government goes into Downing Street. We have about 6 weeks. I'm going to sit down. Thank you very, very much for the chance, and I look forward to working with you on it all.